Okay, I've changed the springs on the Proline shocks since last week when I raced. On the rear, I have an AE spring. I can't remember which model it came off of, but it's definitely heavier. And the front springs are also a stock AE spring, definitely stiffer than what was on here last weekend, but I think it's going to work good. This thing feels super planted on the bench. These are the springs I had on last week, and they were definitely too soft. They worked, but soft. Despite my horrible driving in those clips, this truck is way better than it was. It's more planted, it's more stable, it's not love boating left and right everywhere. It doesn't get all out of shape as easy as it did before. What I have here are the shocks from my B74.2 wheeler, which got destroyed accidentally. That's another story. I'm going to reuse these shocks and try these wheeler shocks on the Slashido. Here's the front. You can see it's a little bit shorter than the Prolines. Definitely beefier. These are 13 millimeter versus 12 millimeter. These are the rears. The rears are quite a bit shorter. You can see here, it does not even want to push it back up. These are blue springs on the back, yellow on the front. The front seems to be working great. I'm going to go try this, but I'm going to put the Proline shocks back on the rear, leave the AE on the front. You can see it doesn't have enough to get the job done here. So I'm going to see if I have a heavier spring. If not, I'll buy one at Big Dog tomorrow and try it out. So for right now, here's going to be the Proline, same setup on the rear that we just had, but I'm changing the fronts out. I took the sway bar off also. You can see it's pretty balanced. Feels great on the bench. I'm excited to see it. And even though I put Gorilla Glue on this hinge pin, it's still backed out. I got to figure out why this thing keeps coming loose. So I was next door at the hobby shop and I got these yellow springs for the AE shocks. They definitely seem a little bit stiffer. I'm going to give them a try. And I also bought a set of Techno springs, which seem even stiffer yet. So between the two, maybe they'll work. I'm going to sit here and play with these a little bit and see. Okay, the AE shocks are not going to work on the back of this. They're just too short. Even with the Techno spring on there, it doesn't have enough rebound. If I make a bracket to bolt across there, it's going to stiffen the shock tower, and I'll be able to lower the shocks. Maybe I'll get them worked that way in another video. Maybe I'll just make a whole shock tower. I got a pretty awesome set of tools. Now, I'm not sure I noticed a big difference by not having a front sway bar on that time around. I'm going to put it back on and try it with the AE shocks and see how I like it. It goes on and off pretty quickly, so it's not a big deal. Didn't get any clips, but this is the ticket right here, at least for now. The 13mm AE shocks on the front, Pro lines on the rear with the unknown spring. And I put the sway bar back on, and it's still turning good. It's just working great. If anybody knows what this spring is here, leave a comment and let me know. I just caught one of your comments in the last video about this Hinge pin backing out. It did it 3 times today while I was shooting the videos of this. I probably should have read them sooner. I didn't know you had to take this and turn this around 180 degrees to keep it from backing out. That makes sense. But I ended up buying these while I was at the shop today. ST Racing Concepts. These actually are hardened steel pins, and they have nuts on them to go on the other side. So I'm going to put them on to race tomorrow, and shouldn't have any pin problems. I'm going to get a good night's sleep, so I'm going to be ready to race this baby tomorrow morning. See you then.